Welcome to Cryptobytes, the podcast where we take today's news and information in the crypto space and break it down into bite-sized chunks. I'm your host, Rick.
And this is Rob.
And remember, this is not financial advice.
But here's some general advice. Contrary to popular belief, frog legs do not taste like chicken. Taste like tilapia.
I think they taste like chicken, but really, really overly done stringy chicken, but somehow juicy.
Don't forget to smash that like button.
Hit that subscribe.
And ping that bell.
And don't forget to follow us on the socials at CryptobytesPod.
At Argyros Crypto.
And don't forget to check out our boy Keys for all things NFTs at NFTs with Keys.
Most importantly of all, guys, share the link with your friends.
We are lonely plebs, and the YouTube algorithm does not favor us yet.
And we are stake pool operators on Cardano. Check us out, AGC.
That's again ticker AGC, as shameless as possible.
So, let's get right into it.
Yeah. So, Ripple, it won its case against the Securities and Exchange Commission.
I'm going to slowly roll there.
Oh.
They did not win their case. There was a lot of chatter on the social medias that they did win their case. But that's still ongoing. What did happen, though, was these experts, people familiar with the situation.
Oh, yeah?
they think that Ripple has a good chance of having the lawsuit dismissed. So what the SEC did, they filed a motion to keep 13 documents out of public viewing. Internet sleuths managed to get their hands on one of the documents.
Right.
And it was a speech draft by former SEC director William Hinman.
Right.
And in this draft, he mentions Ripple and XRP interchangeably. And ultimately, the final speech, he mentioned that Ether is not a security.
Which is good.
Yeah, and he also said publicly that he can help Ripple win their case.
So why do you think they tried to hide these documents?
Well, to save face. I mean, the SEC had one opinion a while back saying that Ether was not a security. And now all of a sudden they're doing 180 because of current situations in the Treasury Department and the current administration. And now they want to say that that Ripple or Ether, they're securities now. It's interesting.
Well, you know, the moment they become securities, the SEC finally can come in and say, hey, you know what? How do we get our money from all of that?
How do I put my hands in your pocket and take that money out and put it into mine?
Oh, how interesting, because I've got something in my front pocket for you. Why don't you reach in there and grab it for me, SEC?
Yeah, so this sent waves throughout social media. Ripple had a little bounce. And I think they had a 200% increase in wallets holding Ripple as well on this news. So, I mean, this news had powerful effect on just the holders.
Oh, you know, speaking of news that's had powerful effect on holders of coin, I heard that Walmart's now taking Litecoin too. Did you guys hear that?
Yeah, that's another piece of fake news right there.
Oh.
Yeah, so on the news that Walmart is taking Litecoin, which I thought, like, why Litecoin? Why not another coin? Why Litecoin? Anyways, that sent Litecoin up 30%. A huge pump in the market. And then Walmart came out on their social media saying, hey, we're not taking Litecoin. This sent Litecoin plummeting.
Well, I hope some of you caught that early enough to grab some of that Litecoin millions.
Yeah, so it just takes the smallest amount of news to make people rich, essentially.
It's, to me, insane how quickly these markets move. It makes the stock market laughable, almost a joke for anyone that wants to make any real kind of money in what I'm going to call day trading, because I feel this is what the day trader's wet dream is to find something that shoots up 30,000, 2,000% in an hour or two, offload what they can, and come back, do it again.
Yeah, so with on the news on the back of the SEC and this Walmart thing, it yells to me insider trading. There's something going on. Insiders, people, whales, trying to get out while the getting is good.
You think a conglomerate of whales together trying to centralize their efforts in a decentralized space?
Maybe, possibly.
I hate that I just came up with that because it's probably what's going on. And oh no.
I mean, we'll get to that later in the show. I mean, there's smoke out there, and if you're not paying attention, you might get left holding some really heavy bags.
Well, you know who is paying attention? AMC.
Yeah, so
AMC.
Aaron Aronson on his Twitter account, official, he said that AMC will be taking Bitcoin by the end of 2021.
Now, is this AMC the company or AMC the I'm going to go see Shang-Chi in theaters AMC?
This is the theater AMC.
Nice.
Yeah, so they're going to start accepting Bitcoin end of the year. They said they were getting the IT infrastructure in place. Mm-hmm. And we spoke about companies overseas, mainly in El Salvador, accepting Bitcoin and how it wasn't that difficult of a jump or of a task to get your infrastructure set up to start accepting cryptos.
So how far are we away here in the States?
Oh, we got AMC. AMC is the first one that, well, I guess Tesla was, but then they put it on hold. But that's a whole different story. This is like you can actually pay for a movie ticket with Bitcoin, and it's going to put pressure on the industry or in the whole market to start accepting Bitcoin as well.
It only takes, what's the domino effect? You push one down and every single thing that happens after that's going to be exponential in force.
Like I said, it puts pressure on the industry, and it seems like this Bitcoin adoption, Bitcoin game theory, the news is starting to happen faster and faster, or in smaller intervals, right? Okay. It took a long time for Bitcoin to be spoken about in the mainstream media after the release in 2009. Right. You got
very true.
You got the plebs, you got the internet,
the people in the know,
internet sleuths, internet money. They're the ones that got in first, and then the small adoption with the individuals, and then it became a commodity in the eyes of the exchange commissions. The CNBC started talking about it, pumping it.
Now people are starting to lend off it, so you got to start talking taxes.
And now it's official currency in a country, and that all took from like 2009 to basically mid of July of this year.
Now it's bigger than a currency. The blockchain's the backbone of the metaverse, which is now the communications hub of the world.
Yeah, so I call this point the quickening. We're just going to start seeing more news about Bitcoin adoption, about companies taking Bitcoin. Hell, even Tesla might start taking Bitcoin now again.
Well, in even bigger news, did you hear about what's going on with the company over in China? I forget the name. What is it? That's right. The Evergrande.
Guys, if you haven't heard about Evergrande, you probably will.
Big news.
So I would just put this into perspective, right? Evergrande. It's a Chinese real estate company. They basically are $100 billion company
with a $300 billion mess up.
They're in debt and can't pay their bills. So again, we'll put this into perspective. So it's China's second largest property developer. Mm-hmm. All right, they own more than 1,300 real estate projects in over 280 cities in China. Okay, this company Evergrande, they have 7 units dabbling in different industries like electric vehicles, a television production, consumer products, healthcare services,
even theme parks.
So they're huge, and they have their tentacles all into the market, into the economics of China. They employ roughly about 200,000 employees, okay? But because of their projects, they employ more than 3.8 million, or they create 3.8 million jobs a year, right? So it's a huge company that's on the brink of collapse and bankruptcy.
Did someone say Lehman Brothers?
Yes. Evergrande could be the equivalent to Lehman Brothers. And if you're old enough to remember, Lehman Brothers was the scapegoat for the 2008 housing crisis and the credit collapse. And this potentially could be bigger. If China bails them out, they bail them out, maybe lessen the blow. Maybe China might step back and wipe their hands clean and let it ripple throughout the world economy.
Well, let's not call it China. It's not really going to be China. It's going to be the CCP.
And with that, I would say
The CCP.
Yeah.
Wait. I can't say that? Say that again?
The CCP.
Huh? The CCP. Weird.
Let me try this. Fuck Google.
The CCP. So wait,
Wow.
we can say fuck Google, but we can't say the CCP?
That's interesting.
Huh.
That's interesting. So how does Evergrande relate to crypto? Right. One might ask. Well, if the yuan collapses because of this company, you're going to see people rushing into the dollar as a safe haven. That's going to push up the value of the dollar and the dollar index, which could have a negative effect on cryptos.
Let's be more specific here. It could have a negative effect on Bitcoin, and we all know how Bitcoin controls the rest of the crypto market.
Yeah, and for the past couple of weeks when this Evergrande news was circulating, you're already seeing a downtrend in gold and silver. So that's kind of the canary in the coal mine, I would say. So it's only a matter of a few days to see what happens with the Evergrande news. I mean, this following week, they're going to be either defaulting, they're going to, or bailed out, or they're going to have to do some sort of, I don't know, find cash somewhere to pay their bills. I spoke about this briefly last week. Stimulus checks, what would be the value of your stimmy check if you put into some sort of crypto? Well, someone did the math. If you put your $1,200 in Bitcoin,
Approximately, of course.
roughly it'll be about $8,000. Now the market has dropped a little bit since the creation of this infographic, so it's a rough estimate. I mean, generally, the takeaway of this is your $1,200 will be valued significantly more now than if you just kept it in dollars or whatever you did with that. Not Bitcoin or not crypto related.
But if you would have put your stimulus check, assuming that you could have, of course,
Back in April,
into any one of these cryptos you see on the screen, this is approximately how much you would have.
roughly,
Insane.
right?
Insane,
Give or
right?
take a couple thousand, yeah.
Now, imagine if you bought gold, or what if you put that money into Tesla, like a stock, or Apple?
Well, stock market generally up. So if you put it into crypto, I think crypto's outperformed the stock market. But if you just left it in cash, or let's say you bought gold and silver with it, you're not doing too well right now. Your returns on gold and silver would be significantly less than if you bought Tesla, if you bought Apple, or even if you put it into the top 3 cryptos.
So let's talk about proof of stake a little bit. And Solana.
Yeah, so Solana had some interesting news this past week. They had an issue with their testnet. I guess they're still in beta. It's not officially rolled out yet. Solana had some massive gains this past 2 weeks, and then all of a sudden they had an issue with their testnet. Their testnet was shut down, and their holders voted on resetting the network.
Yep.
Now, Solana, from our research, they have 7 validators compared to like Cardano has about 25 validators that do 50% of the validation, and then the rest is like the community. But 7 validators, and somehow they had a vote to reset the network.
I mean, most of these proof of stakes that we're going to be coming up and seeing are only going to be proof of stake in the sense that, yeah, the validation will be done through this method, but it's not going to be something that's going to work. And I think that's going to come down to, at least here in the United States, how someone actually utilizes their cryptocurrency, specifically in the staking aspect of this. And in every single proof of stake operation out there, they have to give up their currency. So what happens if whom they're giving it up to, who they're staking with, fails? It's gone.
Yeah, so that's part one of it, right? Bond and slash. Oh, you also got to take a look at how decentralized the network is, right? Sol has 7 validators. I think, Binance has maybe about the same 12 or 20 validators. ETH 2.0 is about the same range, less than 10.
all of these other proof of stake chains, and I'll call them other proof of stake chains, I think what's going to end up happening, these proof of stake chains are going to be hit pretty hard by the SEC because people are having to give up cryptocurrency, give up the control of their cryptocurrency to stake. And I think we're going to see a rise in stuff like Cardano because of Ouroboros. That proof of stake chain is going to reign supreme because no one ever gives up control of their cryptocurrency, of their token.
Yeah, and just because we spoke about the Ripple case, if the SEC comes out behind, or if they not a favorable judgment, they're going to be looking for blood somewhere.
Everywhere.
Proof of stake seems like the next thing that they'll take a look at and try to regulate.
And proof of work's not going to be feasible because we already have all of these groups binding together to destroy proof of work for something as simple as electrical use. I think I read something today that the amount of electricity used to run a single Bitcoin transaction is enough to piss off an entire website of people to start coming behind it. And that's just one transaction. So proof of work has to evolve in another method, and it's going to be proof of stake. Or, I don't know if you've heard about this one, and this is tinfoil hatting it, guys, proof of storage.
Proof of history, too. Yeah, there's a lot of these different proofs of something.
All sorts of different validation methods.
Proof of my bread rising in my pantry.
Proof of the ripeness of my bananas. Don't forget, guys, we're dropping that banana bread NFT.
Yeah, so we're talking about SEC looking for blood. I don't think they're going to get a favorable judgment. We're already seeing Congress position themselves on trying to redefine some of these definitions, right?
Yeah.
If you can't get the law in your favor, right? If you can't pass a bill that you like, what are you going to do? How are you going to change the law that's already enacted? Well, you change the definition of those words.
Yeah, what are you going to do when someone finds out that you messed up? You're going to hide paperwork. You're going to make sure no one knows that you accidentally said, oh, Ethereum's not a security, and then try to use that in court. You know, the craziest thing about that, too, is they will be out for blood. I honestly, this again is more tinfoil hat and baseless speculation. But I think that once the government finds a way to sink their teeth into any one of these cryptocurrencies, right, they're going to try as hard as possible to find some way to control and regulate this stuff.
Yeah, so they already tried doing this with that crypto bill a month ago that had the horrible definition of what a broker is. So there's a reconciliation process here. They're trying to redefine what a commodity is and how a commodity is traded. So right now, a commodity, anything that's considered a commodity like Bitcoin or gold, you can have a wash sale. So if you sell it for less than what you bought it for, you can have that as a tax write-off. What a lot of people are thinking is these are how, let's just call them the one percenters, is how they're lowering their tax liability. Right, you buy something high, you sell it low, you buy it right back. You can take that loss as a tax write-off. So how the House Dems, they want to close that loophole, air quotes, loophole, so that if you trade crypto, day trade it, you're going to have to take a tax hit no matter what, even if you do take a loss on that. You're going to be able to write it off. Let's just say that.
Like a gambling loss or something?
You're going to take a tax on every single trade you do. They also are trying to cap crypto IRAs. Guys, look into what a crypto IRA is, either a Roth IRA or a traditional IRA, right? Talk to your tax consultant about that. Amazing thing you can do for your future. But they want to limit how much money you can put into your crypto Roth or regular IRA, and they want to cap how much money you can keep in that.
Now, what happens if, because of the variable nature of cryptocurrency, what happens if I put in $6,000 worth of Bitcoin today, and tomorrow it moons, and now that 6,000 is actually like, I don't know, $60,000 worth of Bitcoin.
Or maybe in 30 years, it's over $100 million. And because taxation is theft, remember guys, taxation is theft, and inflation is just a way for them to tax you. So inflation and taxation are thefts, and they want to get their hands on as much money as they can for their pet projects. And crypto is just an easy thing to do. So contact your legislature, your local rep. Make sure they hear your concerns on this reconciliation bill. And with that, I think it's time to wrap up the show.
And remember, guys, check us out on our socials at Argyros Crypto, at Cryptobytes Pod, and if for all your NFT news, check out our boy Keys at NFT with Keys.
Share the link, guys. That's how we're going to get this message out. We appreciate our views so far. The channel has been growing.
This is episode 10, guys. We're in the double digits.
Thank you. Thank you to everyone that's been tuning in, hitting the like button.
I'd like to thank all 5 of my supporters. Looking at you, little Johnny. Thank you so much.
And once again, we are a Cardano stake pool operator. Check us out.
Ticker AGC.
And with that,
have a great week, guys.